What if you saw something you couldn't explain? What if your life would never be the same? Do you dare to believe in the impossible? Tonight we unravel the mystery of the Val Verde incident. Stay until the end to understand everything. In the summer of 1976, the sleepy Spanish village of Val Verde experienced a phenomenon that would ripple through the community for decades. Nestled between the rolling hills of La Mancha, this quaint hamlet seemed like any other, with its sun-drenched fields, humble stone houses, and a population tethered to tradition. But one fateful night, the quiet of Val Verde was shattered, and what awaited those who witnessed the events would forever haunt their memories. It was a sultry evening in August. The time was just past 10 o'clock, and families had gathered in their homes, swapping stories under the gentle murmur of cicadas. That's when the first reports began to emerge. Local residents looked up to see an unusual light hovering in the night sky. Not just flickering stars, but a pulsating orb that cast a strange glow, illuminating rooftops and the dusty streets below. Jose Gonzalez, a well-respected farmer and devoted father, was among the first witnesses. Within minutes, he grabbed his binoculars, peering into the darkness above. It was round and shiny, he later recalled, not like anything I had ever seen. It hovered, darting around, moving in ways a plane or helicopter couldn't. Panic soon spread to neighboring houses as more people stepped outside, drawn by the collective gasps of their friends and families. Reports flooded in, capturing a scene that would evade rational explanation. The townsfolk were transfixed by a silent dance in the sky. By midnight, hundreds had gathered in the town square, their eyes agog, gazing at whatever mystery lay above them. As some pointed to the blinding object, others whispered of a deep-seated dread buried in their cultural memory, a fear of beings from beyond our world that had long been relegated to myth. Rumors began to swirl. The object zipped back and forth across the sky, pausing at intervals, almost as if it was studying the people below. It would dip down toward the fields, creating an atmosphere thick with suspense. Children held their breath, while elders recounted stories of folklore, the legendary visitors from the stars who descended to Earth for reasons known only to them. But there was something unsettling about this encounter. Darkened silhouettes danced just beyond the reach of the light, casting shadows that crept through the edges of the spectators' minds. By dawn, local news stations had already got wind of the event. They bombarded Val Verde with reporters eager to capture the aftermath of the spectacle. The villagers, once stewards of ancient traditions, transformed into reluctant witnesses, burdened with a secret no one seemed willing to discuss. As media outlets from across Spain arrived, the warm summer sun cast a stark light on the fears etched onto the faces of the villagers. They were no longer simply participants in a local event. They had become part of a national phenomenon. Why do people believe stories like this? In Spain, particularly in rural areas like Val Verde, legends of extraterrestrial visitors feed deeply into a cultural framework haunted by historical fears. Fascination with the unknown, rooted in local folklore, has often intertwined with tales of political unrest and societal unease. Though many dismiss the Val Verde incident as a collective delusion, the vibrant tapestry woven around it only thickened the intrigue. Police reports filed in the weeks following revealed that several other towns across La Mancha reported similar sightings, creating an inexplicable thread of connection that sparked warnings from local authorities about the dangers of speculation, a sign that the case gripped far beyond Val Verde. As the weeks turned to months, pieces of evidence began to emerge that further fueled the legend. Testimonies piled up like leaves in autumn, documenting impressions of metallic surfaces and eerie noises that echoed from the fields after the glow faded into the night. Military observers rerouted planes over the area, citing the need to monitor unidentified aerial phenomena when radar anomalies lit up their screens. The officially documented sighting log filed in the Spanish Air Force indicated they could not explain what had been seen. However, numerous skeptics pointed to natural phenomena, meteors, atmospheric reflections, and even the impact of psychological suggestibility in a small town rife with tension. The clash between belief and disbelief only served to deepen the lore around the incident. As sightings continued to trickle in months after that night, the unease lingered like a fog, blurring the line between reality and the uncanny, keeping villagers awake at night, pondering what they had truly witnessed. Years later, Val Verde maintained its status as a curious pillar in UFO culture. The local council erected a modest monument inscribed with words that reminded visitors of the night something magnificent, yet terrifying, had taken to the skies. Despite the eerie echoes of what had unfolded, community bonds strengthened. Once reticent villagers began performing nightly vigils, looking to the heavens in mixed anticipation and fear. They became protectors of a shared memory, an annual gathering where whispers of the phenomenon turned into palpable stories, exchanged by the flickers of candlelight. Still, each gathering came with an unsettling realization. Something had shifted. The line between folklore and lived experience had grown dangerously thin. Even now, the residents glanced skyward more frequently, illusions of floating lights and metallic shapes tugging at their hearts. The myth had taken root, deeply embedded in their culture and identity. In these modern times, the Val Verde incident may have faded from mainstream attention, yet its echoes remain woven into the lives of those who witnessed the enigmatic events unfold on that summer's night. And as twilight stretches across the fields, many still cast cautious glances at the encroaching night sky, searching for answers, seeking comfort in community, while being haunted by that luminous orb they could not understand. Will you ever venture into the unknown? Dare you to unearth the stories buried in shadows? The truth might be out there, if you're brave enough to seek it. Don't forget to subscribe for more chilling tales like this.